AHMED Qazi. I write a letter. I am writing a letter. I have written a letter. I have been writing a letter for 2 hours. We write a letter. We are writing a letter. We have written a letter. We have been writing a letter for 2 hours. You write a letter. You are writing a letter. You have written a letter. You have been writing a letter for 2 hours. You write a letter. You are writing a letter. You have written a letter. You have been writing a letter for 2 hours. He writes a letter. He is writing a letter. He has written a letter. He has been writing a letter for 2 hours. She writes a letter. She is writing a letter. She has written a letter. She has been writing a letter for 2 hours. It writes a letter. It is writing a letter. It has written a letter. It has been writing a letter for 2 hours. They write a letter. They are writing a letter. They have written a letter. They have been writing a letter for 2 hours. I do not write a letter. I am not writing a letter. I have not written a letter. I have not been writing a letter for 2 hours. We do not write a letter. We are not writing a letter. We have not written a letter. We have not been writing a letter for 2 hours. You do not write a letter. You are not writing a letter. You have not written a letter. You have not been writing a letter for 2 hours. You do not write a letter. You are not writing a letter. You have not written a letter. You have not been writing a letter for 2 hours. He does not write a letter. He is not writing a letter. He has not written a letter. He has not been writing a letter for 2 hours. It does not write a letter. It does not write a letter. It is not writing a letter. It has not written a letter. It has not been writing a letter for 2 hours. They do not write a letter. They are not writing a letter. They have not written a letter. They have not been writing a letter for 2 hours. Do I write a letter? Am I writing a letter? Have I written a letter? Have I been writing a letter for 2 hours? Do we write a letter? Are we writing a letter? Have we written a letter? Have we been writing a letter for 2 hours? Do you write a letter? Are you writing a letter? Have you written a letter? Have you been writing a letter for 2 hours? Do you write a letter? Are you writing a letter? Have you written a letter? Have you been writing a letter for 2 hours? Does he write a letter? Is he writing a letter? Has he written a letter? Has he been writing a letter for 2 hours? Does she write a letter? Is she writing a letter? Has she written a letter? Has she been writing a letter for 2 hours? Does it write a letter? Is it writing a letter? Has it written a letter? Has it been writing a letter for 2 hours? Do they write a letter? Are they writing a letter? Have they written a letter? Have they been writing a letter for 2 hours? Do I not write a letter? Am I not writing a letter? Have I not written a letter? Have I not been writing a letter for 2 hours? Do we not write a letter? Are we not writing a letter? Have we not written a letter? Have we not been writing a letter for 2 hours? Do you not write a letter? Are you not writing a letter? Have you not written a letter? Have you not been writing a letter for 2 hours? Do you not write a letter? Are you not writing a letter? Have you not written a letter? Have you not been writing a letter for 2 hours? Does he not write a letter? Is he not writing a letter? Has he not written a letter? Has he not been writing a letter for 2 hours? Does she not write a letter? Is she not writing a letter? Has she not written a letter? Has she not been writing a letter for 2 hours? Does it not write a letter? Is it not writing a letter? Has it not written a letter? Has it not been writing a letter for 2 hours? Do they not write a letter? Are they not writing a letter? Have they not written a letter? Have they not been writing a letter for 2 hours?